Yo, so Tamir Rice, no indictment in the officers who shot the feral Dindu with the toy gun.
Very good. Very happy about
that. From what I'm seeing, the Twitter hashtag on Tamir Rice is basically
kill Whitey.
Massive. Not kill Whitey so much as it is a massive exercise in contact denial.
Well, of course.
In other words, they're showing white people with like illegally owned, purchased, and licensed firearms that look scary because of long black rifles.
But they're not pointing them at anyone.
And then they're showing like Tamir Rice's school picture next to it.
Yeah.
Total context denial, right? So they're showing like
they have
guy who's obviously like geared up to go shooting, go hunting, go target shooting, whatever he's doing. I'm sure his firearm is totally legal, licensed, above board. He's never shot anybody, probably never committed a crime in his life.
More importantly, he's not pointing at anyone. He's not
pointing at anyone, right?
It's like Tamir Rice was pointing it at people and fucking around. And I bet if the white guy carrying the AR with the scary flip up shoulder thingy, I bet if a cop came by and said, "Hey, put that down," he would probably put it down and not get killed.
Well, the funny thing is, the white guy who's got a harness for his AR, the harness is configured so that when you're walking around, it's not pointing at anybody.
Right.
Right. Like, but you have to.
But I'm just saying, if a cop came along and was like, "Hey, take that off, and put it on the ground," he probably would be like, "No, motherfucker, it's my right." He would be like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna put this down and not get." But
like, let's say, if you think for a second that a white guy with an AR walking around waving it in the streets and refusing put it down wouldn't get shot. Like, are you kidding me?
Right. Well, more than just that, pointing it at people and pointing it at police.
You're going to get shot. You point that at the police, they're going to shoot you because they think you're going to shoot.
You're going to get shot. And I remember, like, actually, one thing about all these shootings, or not all these, see, these shootings, here's the thing, these kind of things have been happening. It's just that now, because of social media, everyone's hearing about it. This is one of the things they say, but it's true, which is that I'm sure that, like, roughly 300 to 400 black men a year, which, if you think about it, in a country this size, it's not that much.
Not at all.
Given the amount of crime and shootings that go on, 300 to 400 black men shot by cops every year, right? It's really, actually, they talk about this like it's an epidemic. Remember when we did that show a long time ago where I went through that database that Malcolm X group had compiled?
Yep. With and the vigilante actions and all that shit.
9% of them were like, black guy steals car, like high-speed chase, points gun at cops and gets shot. You know what I mean? Like, they're all like this. So, like, but now that these things are public and it's become a thing, it's like, we've all learned, I think, police protocol, you know, because of learning about, like, the Mike Brown thing, and you learn, like, okay, if the guy is within 20 feet, he can close on the officer, even with a knife, the officer is justified in shooting him, etc. So we all kind of learned these things from these cases, and now it's sort of laughable, where I'm like, yes, obviously it's police protocol that if you pull a weapon on them within 20 feet, you get shot. And they don't have time to discern that this is a toy gun. It looks like a gun. It's black. It's in his hand. Toy guns are required by law to have the orange tip. Kids take the orange tip off to be cool. Well, this is what happens.
And another thing they miss is it's well, you go finish. I'll add this in after.
I'm done. I was done.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that it's not. This wasn't just a toy gun. It was an airsoft. I mean, it shoots a pellet. It can actually
hurt you. Yeah.
It can harm you if you get hit with it.
You're not under any obligation to allow yourself to be shot with an airsoft pellet gun.
No, I mean, it's not. They're acting like he just had like a pop gun or a squirt gun.
If I were to shoot an airsoft pellet gun at a police officer, I'm sure he would kill me. And I'm not joking. I'm quite sure I would be killed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, anything threatened. I mean, how else can they? I mean, otherwise they're just sitting ducks.
That's protocol.
How else are they supposed to? But there was a great quote. There was a great quote in the report on this on Reuters. Fuck! I should have actually found it before I started talking about it. Right? Oh, here it is. So the first story I saw about this today was a Reuters story about the grand jury voting not to indict the officers. This paragraph is really great. This is just a really great piece of reporting right here. It's very impartial and unbiased. Rice was playing with playing with a replica handgun outside a recreation center when Officer Timothy Lohman shot him twice within seconds of reaching the park in a squad car driven by his partner. That's just really good. That's just solid reporting right there, right?
Yeah,
he was innocently playing with a toy gun, and and he just shot him twice within seconds of reaching the park. You know,
well,
just
the interesting thing is,
yeah, hey,
have you ever seen the extended video footage of that? I've seen, because usually when they show you the video footage, they just show the police car pulling up and the two cops getting out and shooting him. But there exists...
I try not to watch too many videos of just people dying.
But
it's terrible.
Interesting. I just want to... The interesting
go for it.
About the extended footage is that you see him there playing with the gun or the toy gun for a couple of minutes on the street, and you see him waving it around and pointing it at people, and people running away.
Right.
So you see people like thinking
they're just playing along with him. They're just playing with him.
Has a gun, and I've mentioned this too, and I posted it, and I've seen how leftists react, and they say like, "Oh, he's just being a kid. He's just being playful," and those people aren't running away. And of course, people's images are blurred out, right?
Right.
So you can't really
see their facial.
But you can tell that they're like running away, right?
Right.
And they're not running away. And I'm like, well, no, they are. And then you listen to the 911 call. The guy that calls 911 is like, yeah, there's a kid here waving a gun at people, and they're running away. And so it's like, and so it's like, I don't know, like what do these people want? You know, I mean, we know what they want, but it's also like, it's absurd how silly their view is, right? And again, it's one of those things like, couldn't the cop have done like a backwards reverse flip ninja move to save them? You know, without.
Couldn't the cop is taking the gun out of his holster, spun it in the air, caught it behind his back, fired underneath between his legs, and took out his kneecap?
Probably would have still killed a kid that size, but anyway, whatever.
He didn't do a kung fu chop. He didn't do the Spock thing where the kid goes to sleep.
He didn't just will him to pass out with his mind powers. Yeah. I'm looking at the footage again. They actually have it on the New York Times. Except they're editing it, and they're
editing.
Of course.
Are they making the kid look blacker and the officer look whiter? Can they do like some kind of like adjust the brightness and contrast?
Yeah, they're like
work on the curves.
The officer gets out of the car and it's just like this massive lens flare.
Yes,
because his whiteness just gleams so brightly as he gets up.
It's great.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, on some level it's like, you know, you could maybe guess that in a white neighborhood, this wouldn't happen. Like, say there's a kid in a white neighborhood in a park waving a toy gun around, and people call the cops and the cops respond. I can actually buy that he wouldn't get shot, right? But context is a thing. And in a white neighborhood, you don't necessarily assume that a kid that age might have a real gun that he would be willing to shoot people with. But in black neighborhoods, fact is that's common. You know, and of course that's white people's fault.
No, of course.
You know, because somehow white people gave each other those. The good communities are just created by some unseen will and given to white people. You know, just like the good schools.
Yeah. They're made in the. Yeah. They make schools good, then they distribute them out.